Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Um, there's something that's been bothering me lately. Um, there's always been a debate about vaccines and autism, and people say there's no debate, you know. And truth is, we really don't know, so it's better not to assume that they do or don't, you know. Um, Fact of the matter is, vaccines work. They do work. I'm not saying they don't cause problems. Who knows? People act like they don't. They don't know. I don't know. But I do know that they work. Most of the time, vaccines work. Okay? All we really know is that there's chemicals in them that are neurotoxins, and that sometimes babies have allergic reactions to them. That's all we know. Um, I did see a picture one time of packaging for a vaccine injection that said it could cause autism right on the package. Um, but it wasn't stating it as a fact. It was stating it more as an experimental kind of a, it could, who knows, kind of just warning that it could cause that. Not saying that it does cause that. Um, and it's common sense concern. Neurotoxins cause brain problems. Now the question is, why are there neurotoxins in vaccines? There's neurotoxins in pretty much everything we eat and drink. There's going to be some in vaccines. That's going to happen. Um, I think it would be cool to take them out. I don't know how costly that is. I don't know how easy that is. Um, and some kids are vaccinated and don't have any problems at all. I was fully vaccinated. And I'm not saying I don't have problems. I have a lot of problems. But who knows if those were caused by vaccines? I don't know. Um, my point is, we shouldn't pretend like we know. Okay? But what this video really is about is not about that. And what we should do for that, as far as that goes, we need to study children that are unvaccinated and study children that are vaccinated. See which ones have more health problems, more mental illnesses. It's that simple. Study them over a course of, you can go as far as 10 years. That study needs to be done. There's no study that's ever been done like that. That would be, I think, the most concise study for that. And if it's possible, take the neurotoxins out of them. Just so people don't get so freaked out over it. But, anyways. Um, what I wanted to say is, no one is born with anything. Yes, a baby can have a brain that is underdeveloped or overdeveloped in certain areas compared to other babies' brains. And that baby is on track to have autism or other mental disorders, or maybe even an intellectual deficiency. But they don't have full-blown anything yet. Some babies it's worse than others. There's some babies that do have autism, and you can't even leave them anywhere because they just go crazy. They're very hard to deal with. And you can be born with issues like that. But you can also develop autism, because people with autism have brains that don't look like your brain. They look different, unless you have autism. I don't know. There's a lot of people with autism. But a person with autism has a brain that doesn't look like a brain that doesn't have autism. You know, they're underdeveloped and sometimes overdeveloped in certain areas. That happens with development. It doesn't happen with birth. No one's born anything. No one is born gay. No one is born straight. No one is born bisexual. No one's born anything. Your DNA will wire you certain ways. There's a theory that mothers who are very promiscuous and have a lot of rampant sex have a higher chance at having a boy who is gay because of how strong their pull is to that can transfer over to the baby. And that makes sense, because then it's DNA. But to say that the brain is the way it is, no. The brain develops the way it does because of DNA and outside forces. What we eat, what we drink, what we breathe. You know, we have polluted air and polluted food and polluted drinks. And kids are consuming that. And they have neurotoxins in them. There's neurotoxins in a lot of things we consume. And to say that that doesn't cause brain damage, it depends how much a kid drinks. You could say, oh, a can only has this much in it. How many cans is that kid drinking? You know, you're not thinking about that. Kids drink and eat more than most adults do. Okay? So, yes, you develop mental problems through trauma. There's a reason why kids that are abused are more likely to have mental illnesses than kids that aren't abused, because the brain isn't done developing. You develop mental disorders. You're not born with them. You could be more likely to have them because maybe it's in your DNA. Maybe your father had it, maybe your mother had it, but that doesn't mean you are gonna have it. And your father could be completely sane, and your mother could be completely sane with, almost no issues. Very sound mind, strong mind, and you could have a shit ton of mental problems based on something that you went through. Maybe you were raped, or maybe you were abused by somebody else. These things develop, okay? There's also a reason why a lot of rape victims end up either being bisexual or homosexual, or sometimes asexual and hate sex. There's always something that changes, okay? Always. A woman who is sexually abused by a man might be wired at that point to just hate men. That can happen. It really can happen if she's young enough. And if a boy is abused by a woman, the same thing can happen with a boy. These things develop, okay? Your DNA plays a big part, but it doesn't play all the parts. To say that video games and movies and music has no effect on the way our brains develop is completely insane. Yes, it does. Anyways, that's just the video that's just all I wanted to say. Just felt like I had to say that. And love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and thanks.